So it's Saturday afternoon. I hear the clack, bang, oof from kids riding skateboards just outside my office window while I'm trying to record a video. I get slightly annoyed, but then I think to myself, why do they do that? And why did I used to do stuff like that? Every part of the human brain seems geared towards self-preservation. So why is it that we take risks? Why do I, as a guy in my 50s, go flying down hills on bicycles at 65, 70 kilometers an hour? There's no risk reward going on here. It's just seemingly dumb. Why do kids ride these skateboards, fall off, graze themselves and lose chunks of skin? Why do we do this stuff? Between diseases and accidents, isn't life just complicated and dangerous enough? So that risk reward thing, it's supposed to work in this way. The more risk that's out there, the more reward you get. And it's the basis of financial analysis. But it doesn't always work that way. Have a look at the bottom end where there is minimal to no risk. And I suppose the safest way to keep yourself safe is to stay in bed all day. Stay in bed all day, you reduce all your risks, but you can't get rid of them. There's a point where you can reduce your risks, supposedly, but the costs are still hovering around. They don't exactly fall in conjunction with the risks. Laying in bed, you might fall ill. You might catch a cold. You could catch cancer. You could get bed sores. A whole lot of things could happen to you. A truck could come flying through off the freeway and smash into your bedroom. Like the craziest things happen to humans. You can't get rid of the risk. The other thing about staying in bed all day, just try it. Even on vacation, try to just lay in bed all day. You can't do it. It's just not the human condition. We're not cats. We can't just sit there, stare into blank space and sleep most of the day. It's just not in us. So why not? Well, let's look at the risky side of things. Let's look at the edgy side of risk reward. Again, riding down a hill on a bicycle at 70 kilometers an hour. There's no reward to that except a little bit of a dopamine hit. But there's a huge amount of risk. The risk ramps, but the reward doesn't. The reward doesn't track exactly with the risk, just like it doesn't track on the way down. It's the same if you're skiing down an icy slope. There's not much reward going on there. We're wired to take those risks, even if there's little reward. Even if we know the outcome, the risks are still huge. Now, look at the classic of, a friend tells you should bet on a certain horse and that horse is almost a certainty to win. But the horse knocks itself in the starting stall, limps out of the starting gate and comes dead last. I mean, that sort of story happens all the time. Or you get a stock. There's a stock that you've done all of the analysis on. You think this stock is just set to take off. But then all of a sudden, out of your control, a dumb politician makes some announcement that just makes the stock pummel and go exactly the other way. Completely out of your control. You can't control outcomes any more than you can control a cat or control kids. Have you ever tried? You just can't do it. Outcomes are completely uncontrollable. So it sounds like a dim picture, doesn't it? But it's not a dim picture because we learn to deal with randomness. Let's go back to those kids on the skateboard. What have they learned? They've learned resilience. They've learned to not blame anyone else when they fall over because they know that the only person made the mistake was themselves. They learn exhilaration, they learn skills, and they learn the value of practice. There's a whole lot of positive things going on, although they don't control the outcome and they certainly don't get the reward for the risk. We as humans are adapted to make quick corrections, and these risks that we take, they teach us along the way. Again, going back to the skiing analogy, have you ever gone down, if you do ski, you're going down this beautiful slope and nice snow, and all of a sudden you hit this patch of ice. You go to fall, but you recover. And as you recover, the first thing you do, you go, whoa, made it. And there's this huge sigh of relief. And you're quite proud of yourself. It's like, oh, geez, I did well there. You've learnt, you've adapted, you've quickly corrected. You can't do that unless you've done the work, unless you've practiced, and unless you've fallen over. So the risks and the rewards don't track linearly and they don't track in time. The reward of the risks you took sometime down the track when you kept falling over, they've bared the fruit sometime down the track. But it's completely immeasurable. And the outcome, whether you fell or not, was still, yes, your skill helped you, but you couldn't control how much there was, how far the ice went. You couldn't control if there was wind. You couldn't control how sharp your skis were necessarily, if they were tuned correctly. You just couldn't control a lot of things, but you gave yourself that little bit of a chance. So, in summary, you can't control the risks, whether you think you can or you can't. There's two sayings. One is better to have loved than lost, and we know what that one's all about. And the other one is it's better to have tried and fallen over. We know these axioms are truth. Don't be any more scared of risks as you are sure of outcomes. I'll say that again. Don't be any more scared of risks as you are sure of outcomes. Be humble. You're not in control. I'm Stephen DiPietro. Thanks for tuning in.